size. Get it right.
Visit NHTSA.gov/
the right seat.
Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
We're not adults, so just be there and listen. I just want someone to yap to. And I just feel like I'll be fine if someone just hears me talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk.
You're doing a really good job. And I don't think I tell you that enough. And I know sometimes we get into it and it's just hard on both of us. But try to understand me more and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Well, look who's coming around to the song.
I still hate it.
Wallace on the mic so clear, talking sports and the games we cheer. Women in politics swirl in the air. Milwaukee nights, he's always there. Monday through Friday, he owns the wave. Stories of the city where passion stays. From the course to the fields and city streets, Kyle's voice is the rhythm that repeats. Tune in now, don't miss the vibe. Milwaukee's heartbeat on the line. Sports and women politics too. Kyle's show is the life we pursue. He dives deep into the city, so from the Bucks to the Brewers, he plays.
This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And look at Rhea. Rhea likes my song. You like my themes. I ain't even asked for it today. You just played it, huh? You like it.
Give you some more time, my guy.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Yo, anytime. There's a part. Don't miss the vibe. Which is crazy. You know, yesterday, we're going to talk about this. Yesterday with the Milwaukee night market that we had, I guarantee you, when them women was fighting, had they played this song, they would have stopped. It would have stopped. It would have brought people together. It brought enemies together. She would have put her breast away and would have said, I got to dance. I'm telling y'all, I should have just started playing my theme song. Don't look at me like that, Ricky. It would have made them women stop jumping that girl.
What happened?
Oh, you haven't seen the video?
No, this is yesterday?
Oh, you got to find, Zach got the video.
Negro, please.
No, Negro, please, nothing. They would have said, oh, Kyle Wallace got the vibe. They would have stopped. I'm telling you, got to watch the video, Rhea. We're going to have you watch the video live because we're going to talk about that segment number 3. Just so y'all know, Truth Nation, Today's the day. I want y'all to always engage and call in. I got 3 different topics and 3 different things on my mind that I want to talk about today. So I'm gonna hear from y'all. I'm definitely gonna hear from y'all. DJ Brother, you got the video, right, of the girls that was fighting? Yeah, we gonna show it. I want you to show it to Rhea during our 3rd segment so she can react live to the video. But we're gonna talk about that, y'all. We definitely gonna talk about that. But as always, this is Truth to Power here with Kyle Walls on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and we're coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in downtown Milwaukee. You can always watch and stream us live by streaming us on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Make sure y'all give it a like and a thumbs up and a subscribe, as we are almost at 4,000 subscribers, and we prepare for our road to 5,000 subscribers on YouTube. So again, watch and stream us live. You don't want to miss any of your favorite 1017 The Truth shows. Also, if you have any thoughts or comments on this conversation, you always know the lines are open. The Truth Talk to text line is 833-212-1017. Shout out to Rhea holding it down on the 1s and the 2s.
What up?
And now let me get straight into it, Truth Nation. Now, like I said, today, usually I try to find something I talk about at the start, and then I get into the meat and the potatoes, right? Usually I get into that. Today, I got 3 separate things that I want to talk about, so bear with me, but definitely I want to get some of y'all engagement on this. In this first one, I don't know how we engage. I don't know how we have this conversation without offending people or making people feel a certain type of way, but it's just something that I had to talk about, and it's been on my mind for days. It's been on my mind for days, but we had other conversations I felt like we need to get to, but I didn't want to let this week go by without addressing this. Tomorrow I'll be joined by Kayla Lewis-Allen. She'll be joining me tomorrow, because I want to always uplift as many voices as possible. So she'll be joining me tomorrow for Truth to Power from noon to 1. So I wanted to get this off my chest and talk about this and get the thoughts of everybody else, from everybody else. Now, I was somewhere over this weekend, and I overheard a conversation, Truth Nation. I overheard a conversation that was very worrisome for me and concerning to me. And I thought about the state of our community. And this isn't the conversation doesn't reflect fully the community, but I do think there is a part of the community that this has been normalized in. And when I talk about normalized, I'm talking about the state of domestic violence here, just in general, because just let's be very clear. Domestic violence happens in all communities. It happens in all communities entirely too often. And we see a lot of numbers of reported, but you don't see the numbers of not reported. So let me just make sure everybody understands this is not a race thing at all. It's not a race thing. But when I look at statistics and I think about the experience of what I overheard over the weekend, it is something that we should be concerned about. So when you take a look at the statistics of African Americans and Native American men and women who experience domestic violence situations from a partner, they're much higher rates than other populations. African Americans and Native Americans, men and women, experience domestic violence situations at a significantly higher rate than other groups. 43% of black women experience it, while 38% of black men experience. And to me, that's some toxic stuff. Very, very toxic stuff. Now, again, why I'm bringing this up is because of a conversation I overheard over the weekend. Now, the conversation I heard over the weekend rocked me to my core, and I was just like, I can't believe I'm hearing this. I almost got up and left. That's how bad it was. I felt sad, Truth Nation. I heard a grown man this weekend when I was out and about doing what I had to do. I heard that he was involved in a domestic violence situation. Now, he discussed how she pushed him to this point. Real conversation. He said, she pushed me to this point and I finally snapped. He vividly described in detail the assault that he was the perpetrator of by saying he was abusing her, and I don't know exactly what it was, but he said he was abusing her. And the thing he said was, I'm not sure of what exactly he was doing, but I remember him saying that it sounded like he was choking her, and he said that he can look into her eyes and can tell she was about to see God. So then he stopped. Now, hearing a grown man say this, I was appalled by that conversation, and I was in disbelief that I was listening to a grown man talk about abusing another human being and abusing a woman. I just could not believe it. And that stuck out to me when he said, I stopped because I can tell she was about to see God. And he
Excuse me,
but
what?
he publicly was telling this story. I could not believe my ears, Truth Nation. A man was bragging about having no shame. He talked about how it actually felt good. He said, I don't give a, it actually felt good to do it. And I said, what in the world? Like, this is crazy. And I wanted to say something so bad. You know, when you stare at people a little bit, kind of like give them that stare of disgust. But I didn't know if it was my place to say something. I don't know. But again, the fact that he bragged about this and he said, I wish somebody would try to do something about it. I couldn't believe my ears, y'all. A man was bragging about having no shame about physically assaulting a woman. And what made things worse is literally minutes after that conversation that I overheard, I then overheard another conversation by another woman who was describing a domestic violence situation that somebody in her family had gone through. An incident. These are two separate conversations. And she was talking about how the woman in the situation was arrested and how the dude is a punk and, you know, he did this and he calls. And I'm thinking to myself, in a span of literally 120 seconds, I just heard two separate stories of domestic violence in our communities.
Where were you?
I was out and about, Rhea. I was out
girl,
and about.
what?
I was out and about. There was a woman who was described. First it was a man. There was a woman, and they were even having the same conversation. That's the crazy thing about it, Rhea. And so that's why I was just appalled by everything, right? I was appalled by everything. And it made me just think about, like, this can't be real life. Like, how do we as a community come together to build great families if we can't respect one another? Because what I heard and what I see, and based off the numbers, is a lack of respecting a human being. Because when you respect another human being, you know it's not your place to put your hands on another human being. And so how do we as black families raise great black kids and raise black families when we have these instances happening inside our communities? Like, we have to think about the pain that kids have to go through seeing a loved one be abused. See, these kids who experience this have to deal with the post-traumatic stress disorder they're going to have to go with. Anxiety, depression, the additional stress that puts on a child under these terrorizing situations. And so to think about this and to experience this, I couldn't believe it, y'all. I just couldn't. And I was frustrated in a moment because I was just like, I feel like I need to say something and call him a punk. But I'm like, is this my place? And I was so close to getting up and just walking out, but the most I could do was just stare at him. And I can tell that he felt me staring at him because eventually he got up and he walked out and took the conversation to another place. But I don't know if a stare is enough. I don't know if I froze up in that moment and I didn't do enough. I didn't know where, I didn't know what my place was to speak up at, to hear this conversation. And what we have to understand is 4 out of every 10 of our black queens are being physically abused by their partner. Some of this leads to deadly events. Black women are more likely to be killed by someone they know than a racial or ethnic counterpart. And according to data from Neighborhood News Services via here in the Milwaukee Police Department, of the 21 women who were killed in 2022 under abusive circumstances, 21 women in Milwaukee were killed under abusive domestic violence circumstances. 17 were black. 3 were Latina and 1 was Asian, according to police data. Out of the 21 women that lost their lives due to domestic violence situations in the city of Milwaukee, 17 look like me and you, Truth Nation. That's a problem. So again, I don't have a power out. That's what we call on radio to get y'all 833-212-1017, like to get y'all to engage. And I don't think I have that. I just felt like at the end of the day, I need to talk about this. And honestly, the conversation should probably just end with this. I felt compelled, like I had to share this experience with you all, because again, for me, it was just so shameful to hear a grown man recounting this story of being an abuser and with so much pride and no remorse. And never once in my life have I ever heard someone discuss how they abused a woman before. Maybe I grew up too sheltered. Maybe that was the norm for some. It was extremely alarming to me to hear this. And I feel like overall, Milwaukee, we got to do better because we can't have things like this happen. And if you know a man who does this and, you know somebody personally who does this, you got to speak up. Because Truth Nation, maybe I froze. And maybe I froze and I didn't do enough. And again, it wasn't happening in front of me, but telling him he was wrong. And I really did want to tell him he was wrong. And again, I stared at him in disgust. And maybe one day I'll go back to that place. And if I see that person again, maybe I'll tell him. Maybe I will tell him. Because it's just, to me, the behavior is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. So again, my ask for you, Truth Nation, is, if you have an opportunity, if you feel comfortable to change somebody's behavior in your life, whether it's a brother, a cousin, a friend, somebody you know, try to get them to do the right thing. Because I'm seeing a dangerous common theme of what's happening with the level of abuse and what this could do in our communities. So again, I just felt like I needed to share that story because I could not believe my ear. I was infuriated inside. And I wanted to tell somebody, but I didn't. But I feel like, I'll eventually go back to that place. And if I do happen to see that person, maybe I will say something next time. Maybe I will. 833-212-1017. I just had to share that because for me, it's just, black male aggression. And I don't like saying it like that because we get labeled as angry. And like I said, domestic violence happens in all communities. This stuff happens everywhere, right? Unfortunately. But I'm a black man who's going to raise black children, who has a lot of black queens in his life, a lot of black kings in their life, because 38% of black men get abused as well. And just overall, we got to be better. And I want to make sure I can protect whoever I can protect. Because I know for dang sure nobody wants their son or daughter to be put in a situation like that ever in their life. But 833-212-1017, that's all I had here for the start. But on the other side, I promise y'all, I've talked a lot about different things, and I promise y'all, coming up next, this show, the rest of the show will not be about Donald Trump, but, I have to tell y'all something to enlighten you all about something that is occurring, because I think it's so important that my job is to not only entertain, but also inform people of everything that is happening around us. Because my goal is that you can hear something on the radio that informs you enough that you feel confident enough to go tell somebody else, or you feel confident enough to be able to push back on something somebody said. So 833-212-1017. On the other side, I'm going to be talking about how the evils of the past are showing their ugly nose. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Walls. We'll have more conversation on the other side.
More of Truth to Power is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, Truth fam, this is your girl, Melanie Ricks, and I want to remind you to tune into Nothing But the Truth digital show with me, Melanie Ricks, presented by Visit Milwaukee. Every Wednesday at 6 p.m., a new episode drops on the 1017 The Truth YouTube page. And since it is on YouTube, I hold nothing back. I give you all my hot takes on celebrity gossip and give you the tea on relationships that you don't want to miss. Subscribe to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so you never miss Nothing But the Truth digital show, dropping every Wednesday at 6 p.m., presented by Visit Milwaukee. Handcrafted, homegrown, world class.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. When it's time to upgrade your windows and doors, wouldn't you like to work with the best? But maybe you're thinking in these volatile times, I don't want to spend a fortune. Well, Pella, the best in the industry, has a product line for every budget. And right now, you can get no interest and no payments for up to 2 years. And if the plan is to wait, guess what? You can get it now and wait to start making payments up to 2 years. Pella truly believes that quality windows and doors don't have to be expensive. With a range of affordable options and products assembled in the U.S., you can get the look you want at a price you can afford. And with Pella's free in-home consultation, no obligation quote, and range of available financing, getting new windows and doors from Pella is easier than you think. Certain restrictions apply. Ends June 30th of 2025. Set your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need
the $100 hookup.
This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the
$100 hookup.
And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Life's better with American Family Insurance. Because whether it's a family road trip in your dream car or hosting a family reunion in your dream home, we help you feel protected so you can enjoy those dreams with peace of mind. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Tired of hearing no from other banks? No to a loan? No to a checking account? Just no? At Brewery Credit Union, they find ways to say yes. Yes to second chances. Yes to rebuilding credit. Yes to helping you save, borrow, and thrive. Work with your credit specialist and move your financial life forward. Brewery Credit Union, Milwaukee's best place to borrow and save. Visit brewerycu.com. That is brewerycu.com. Federally insured by NCUA.
This is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Bizarre. Yeah.
Truth Nation, make sure you check out The Truth this Saturday at 11 a.m. for another episode of More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin. Carrie Noni Juice will be joined by Sarah Noble, principal partner at B Noble Group, and State Senator Dora Drake, who represents the 4th Senate District. The three will be exploring the devastating impact of potential Medicaid cuts. Again, that is More Than a Movement, powered by Planned Parenthood Advocates of Wisconsin, this Saturday at 11 a.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And then also, I want to remind you all, Truth Nation, I need y'all to come join us next week. The 54th annual Juneteenth celebration in Milwaukee is on Thursday, June 19th, and The Truth will be broadcasting live again from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Stop by our broadcast, say what up, get some free Truth swag as well. Juneteenth in Milwaukee is one of the oldest and biggest Juneteenth celebrations in the country, so you don't want to miss out on your chance to celebrate with us at our live Juneteenth broadcast presented by Hope Christian Schools and Carroll University. 1017 The Truth celebration of Juneteenth is also brought to you by American Family Insurance, Gruber Law Offices, Molson Coors, Educators Credit Union, and Associated Bank. So make sure y'all come on out and celebrate Juneteenth with us next Thursday. We are a week out. And then go to Summerfest after as well, too. Bow Wow's coming to Summerfest now on Juneteenth. You don't like Bow Wow, Rhea?
He's fine, but didn't he beat some one lady up too?
Nah, Bow Wow ain't that beat no. Bow Wow's he's scrawny, he's small. Bow Wow can't beat nobody up.
I mean, you can't put hands on somebody.
He ain't, Google it. I don't think Bow Wow did nothing like that. I don't think so, but I don't know. I don't really track stuff like that. But 833-212-1017, that's the Truth Talk to text line. Always make sure y'all watch and stream us live on YouTube by going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That's 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Now, I told y'all this show will not be about Trump. I talked about an experience that I saw while I was out and about. I'm going to talk about Trump, and then we're going to talk about what happened here in front of 3rd Street Market Hall at the night market. So we're going to touch on a lot of different things today. But I did want to bring this to light because I think we have to understand the world that we're living in. And I need to give y'all as much ammo and as much information as possible so you can push back against some of the things that people say. Because there's a lot of people that you may know that are supporters of this individual. And I need y'all to understand that I could provide as much evidence so you can push back and say, this is why you should not support him. Now, let me just start by saying, y'all know I'm not a genie. This ain't Aladdin. Nor am I Miss Cleo. So I cannot tell the future, and see what's coming. But I do study history. I love history, big history buff. I get it from my father. He used to always like watching the History Channel. One of my favorite shows to watch is watching The Food That Built America. Excellent show on the History Channel. I'm a big proponent of utilizing the evils of the past to dictate what we do in the present and what we also do in the future. Because we don't want to repeat some of the history that we had here in America and across this great country, or I should say across the world that we get to live in. And as we all know, we learned in the past through history, is we learned one of the evils of America's past is obviously slavery. Those who fought to uphold the quote-unquote lifestyle of the Confederate South, which again was slavery. And I was reading an article from the medium.com, and it shares some good information about what the Confederate South was, right? Being black in the South pre-1863, I mean, even after that, but pre-1863 wasn't a great life. And the Confederate South wasn't friends of black Americans. And in my perspective, I don't think the Confederate South was a friend of anybody in America or any real American. See, in the article, it talked about how the Confederate South held white supremacy, slavery, and the suppression of black people as a fundamental core principles in its values. The Constitution of the Confederate States of America went so far as to mandate slavery in a totalitarian fashion. So to me, anyone who is associated with the Confederate South is evil and misguided. Yes, it happened a long time ago, but those people who lived during that time, who made a decision to say, yes, I want to buy other human beings. Yes, I want to treat other human beings like second-class citizens and like animals. Yes, I want to beat these individuals. Yes, I want to control these individuals. Yes, I want to make these individuals. Yes, I want to rape these individuals. Yes, I want to risk my life to uphold the lifestyle of being able to have people and human beings as property. That's what the Confederate South is all about. And so when we talk about it happened a long time, well, guess what? This is what history is about, right? Those people back in the 1800s and 1700s, they had a choice, right? They have a choice that they made. And the choice that they made has implications and judgments that will come from people like myself in the future. So those who fought and celebrated the South must now and forever be labeled as evil traitors who believed in slavery. That is historically correct. There's no going around that. When we think about the Confederate South, we understand what they were fighting for. They were fighting to keep African Americans in slavery and in bondage. They were fighting to keep the way of life where they can literally do whatever they wanted to black bodies in the South. That's what they were fighting for. That was the way of life that these folks who fly that Confederate flag talk about. When they talk about the South will rise again, that's what they're talking about. So the Confederate is nothing Americans should ever be proud of. But of course, a couple days ago, Trump went on stage, and while speaking to our great men and women of the military who risked their lives to protect us, which I so much appreciate, he was talking about restoring some names of military bases, which were changed under the Biden administration. Now, the Biden administration decided it was not appropriate for us to honor individuals who fought for the Confederate Army and attempted to succeed this great nation. The Biden administration decided that honoring those who were behind the deaths of over 600,000 Americans were not going to make America great. That's just period. Celebrating traitors and losers of a war is not appropriate, and I believe this is something that we all should be able to get behind. Ain't no debate with that. The Confederate Army is a bunch of traitors and they're a bunch of losers. But then you insert old, senile, deranged man named Donald Trump, where he gets on stage in front of our military and states that he wants to take America backwards. Listen to the comments that some of y'all President Donald Trump made about restoring the names of military bases back to their original shameful Confederate names.
One and only Fort Bragg, the one and only Fort Bragg. But remember, it was only that little brief moment that it wasn't called Fort Bragg. It was by the Biden administration, not Trump. I had nothing to do with it. And that is why we restored the historic name of this very, very special place. I don't know if it could be the same place. Fort Bragg is in, that's the name. And Fort Bragg, it shall always remain. That's never going to be happening again. For a little breaking news, we are also going to be restoring the names to Fort Pickett, Fort Hood, Fort Gordon, Fort Rucker, Fort Polk, Fort A.P. Hill, and Fort Robert E. Lee. We won a lot of battles out of those forts. It's no time to change. And I'm superstitious. You know, I like to keep it going, right? I'm very superstitious. We want to keep it going.
We want
so
to
that's
keep
a big
it going.
story.
I'm very superstitious. We want to keep it going. You tell me, what is the point? Why is this crazy man openly celebrating Confederate generals and Confederate officers who fought to separate this country? Generals and people who hated America so much that they wanted to leave America. They created a new flag to fly. The flag that everybody brags about as the American flag, the stars and stripes that we all love. The Confederate South hated that flag, and they created a new flag, and they wanted to separate our country. They didn't believe in the stars and stripes that we love, Truth Nation. In what world is this a big win? In what world is this right? What is Donald Trump trying to gain from trying to do something like this? Trump is openly campaigning and pushing for Robert E. Lee, General Robert E. Lee, who led an army who hated the thought of black people to be free so bad that they were willing to sacrifice their lives to keep black people in slavery and in bondage. That is who Robert E. Lee is. And on top of that, General Robert E. Lee of the losing Confederate South, who fought for the right to keep slavery, he was once quoted saying the painful discipline that they, as in they, black people, are undergoing is necessary for their future instruction as a race and will prepare them, I hope, for better things. Yes. Robert E. Lee believed that beating black people to death, killing black people for trying to run away to get their freedom, and he believed in oppressing black people and buying and selling black people would lead to a better future for them. That's what he was saying. And so this is what some of y'all supported and voted for. But the kicker to all this, Truth Nation, y'all heard Trump out there. He specifically said Robert E. Lee. He bragged on all he talked about these names because all these were Confederate names. He bragged about shifting them back to Confederate names. That's what he was saying. But here's the kicker, Truth Nation. This is what y'all want y'all to understand. What he's trying to do, the dog whistle he's trying to send out, who he's trying to make feel good. Because what I want y'all to understand is that Donald Trump got up there and he told y'all that he was going to change the name of these bases, which is true. They are changing the names. But the fact that he went up there and he made up lies. See, he said they were going to change the name back to Robert E. Lee, but it's not actually getting changed back to Robert E. Lee. See, what's really happening is while he said they were going to rename the military bases after Confederate traitors, in reality, they're not. The military is not. The bases won't be formally named after Confederates who took up arms against the United States during the Civil War, but instead, they're going to name them after people that had similar names. So it won't be the original Fort Bragg name. It won't be the original Fort Lee name. It's going to be named after somebody else who had the name Fort Lee, not General Robert E. Lee. But tell me, why would Donald Trump, why would the President of the United States get up there and claim that? Why would he tell people that he's going to rename these bases after Confederate members who fought against the freedoms of black people in this country? Why would he get up there and lie about that? That's what I'm trying to get through my mind. Why would he do that? Who is he trying to impress? Who is he trying to gain the favor of? And I'll tell you who, Truth Nation. The people who he's trying to gain the favor of and impress are white nationalists in this country. White supremacists who believe we should go back to a time where black people were treated like second-class citizens. That's who. And again, I felt like I needed to shed some light on this because Trump is a liar. And for those who don't believe that Trump is racist, this is a great example for why he is racist. See, people will get up here and they will tell you that Trump isn't racist because of all the rappers that used to love him and, you know, they had him in his songs back in the day, or the very few pardons that he was giving out to some famous black people. You tell them how he wanted to rename military bases after Confederate soldiers who fought to keep slavery as a way of life. It's weird that somebody would do that. Why would he even bring up the Confederate soldiers if they're not really naming the bases? It's because he is trying to get favor from the white nationalists that is his base. 833-212-1017. We'll take a quick call here. Winky Blue, what are your thoughts here on this conversation?
Well, this is a pretty heavy-duty one here, Doc. Now, you said some great things. You talked about the reforming, the renaming of the bases. Now, I'm a little bit illiterate to the other portion of that part where you said there's not really going to be named that. So I'll take you at your word value, and I'll go back tonight when I'm at home, and I'll research that. That'll give me something to do around the table. But I'll tell you something, Kyle. If he is, and we know that he is dog whistling to his base, that's okay, man, because we as black people cannot be angry about what they're doing to reserve and preserve their white race, man. See, we get mad because they're doing things to reserve their white race.
Winky, that's fine. That people can do that, but when you're the president of the United States, you shouldn't dip your toe into that type of rhetoric. What are we doing?
It's all been politicalized.
But Winky, you and I can both
agree. I will tell you a flag that we should be flying. I'll tell you a black flag that we should be flying, but go ahead.
No, we shouldn't allow for this. Like me and you both can agree on the fact that you may not like Joe Biden, but changing the name of those and getting rid of Confederate monuments is probably the right thing, because when you go to Germany,
if you get rid of that Kyle,
if you get rid of that what?
Okay.
Let me know. Go ahead. When you get rid of that what?
Okay, listen to this, man. Listen. When you get rid of that kind of stuff, you deplete, you make void our history.
No, you don't.
Our young people come and be. Hold on, let me show you something.
There's history books.
There's history books. You got a guy. I want to tell you something.
Wait,
you got a guy on your radio.
I got about 20 seconds.
You got a guy on your host, right? You got a guy on your radio station. When he started his little show, he had a Black History program. So I went into my artifacts, and I took a few artifacts up there. He didn't know nothing about it. We had black money, where you had Booker T. Washington, you had George Washington Carver on $50, silver dollars. Well, they all started out as commemorative coins, but they circulate just like the Susan B. Anthony's, the Kennedy dollars. They go into circulation. This guy was so in, and he was brand new at this time. This guy was so into, I don't know why, the guy don't like no guy like me, but anyway, he was so bent on, that's commemorative coin. All of those coins start out as commemorative coins, but they go into circulation. Our Booker T. Washington coin circulated, brother, from 1942 to about 1945. And the reason why it got done, because the black aristocrats said, why does it have to have from the slave cabin to the Hall of Fame? So you know what Whitey did? He removed those coins out of there. We got kids right now don't even know that we had black money.
I appreciate that education, Winky. 833-212-1017. Really quickly, the caller. I got about 60 seconds here for you. What are your thoughts on this conversation?
My thoughts is I apologize for that ignorance that you just heard spewed. This is by a man who loves Davy Crockett, who went to Texas to fight to keep slavery going. And he is an example of those people, the DNA of those people who sold us into bondage and to human trafficking. And Donald Trump showed us by pardoning those January 6th Confederates that he is a traitor. And anyone who flies that flag is a traitor, just like it would be very ignorant for any Jewish person to say that German people are preserving German history when most Germans did not believe in setting Jewish people on fire. And at this point in history, we have hundreds of millions of people who have admittedly said that slavery was wrong and that it should have never happened, and who do not support a country that attacked America, the only country. The people who hate, as you said, Kyle, hate America the most and hate black people and want to put him in bondage. He sat here with his ignorant self and said something about them preserving white history. There's a difference in N-words and black people, and anybody carrying a Confederate flag or supporting what Trump said is a hunky, whether they're black or not, a hunky.
All right, now. Thank you, the caller. This is wild. Wild. One thing I did want to ask is I want to ask Google, because I got my little, my little side piece, Google. I'm going to ask her a question. because Winky was talking about, he brought up Germany, and I want to know, I got a question. Does Germany have any Nazi monuments?
According to the foreword, Germany, long seen as an international model for appropriately reckoning with its Holocaust history, nonetheless currently has at least 162 streets and schools.
Okay, this thing didn't read what I wanted to read here. It says no, there aren't. Germany has no monuments that celebrate the Nazi armed forces. So that's what she didn't work out. But that's the whole point of that. Sometimes you try things and it doesn't work out. But 833-212-1017. On the other side, we'll take potentially other calls, but I do want to continue this conversation because, again, I didn't want to really talk too much about Trump today, but I just felt like I need to educate people because I just thought it was interesting that the man got up there and lied and said he was renaming these military bases after Confederate soldiers and generals, but he's really not. And I want to know why he would lie about something like that. 833-212-1017. I'll take Martin's call on the other side, and then also be prepared to talk about the nonsense that happened outside the 3rd Street Market Hall last night. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. Keep it locked.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Ready to join the fun? With Girl Scouts Extended Year Membership from Girl Scouts,
you can sign up by June 30th and get up to 18 months of adventure through September 30th, 2026.
Girls starting kindergarten or 1st grade in 2025 will also receive 3 Get Ready with Girl Scouts activity books,
featuring games, crafts, and stories the whole family will love, for free. Plus, you'll even get a special gift from the Girl Scouts. Join today and get ready to grow, explore, and shine with Girl Scouts.
Rivals meet again when the Brewers battle the Cardinals June 12th through the 15th. Come for a duel between the Contreras brothers on the diamond and stay for one of the best weekends of summer. It's Tropical Days, Saturday, June 14th, featuring a Brewers straw hat with special tickets. Then take Dad to the Father's Day game for a Barrelman cooler giveaway on June 15th. It doesn't get any better than this. Get in on the action at Brewers.com.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
At Great Impressions Graphics and Printing, they've been proudly serving the community for over 26 years. From their location at the corner of 54th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, their dedication to quality and customer satisfaction has made them a trusted name in printing and design. Great Impressions offer a wide range of services, including banners, posters, yard signs, business cards, programs, and postcards. Plus, they specialize in custom apparel printing, perfect for family reunions, sports outings, business promotions, and more. For your next project, visit greatimpress.com. That's greatimpress.com. Great Impressions. They're here when you need them.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Truth Nation, let us talk our ish for a moment. There is no other station in the country where you get a front row seat to hear from some of the biggest names in politics, pop culture, and sports. People like Grammy Award winner John Legend.
Knowing that fight isn't over, knowing that we've got to stay motivated and stay inspired. Glory was the song that myself and Common wrote. 2 brothers from the Midwest, from Chicago and from Springfield, Ohio.
Oscar Award winning actor Don Cheadle.
I know that we're the bright, shiny thing that sometimes gets the attention, but I would say don't listen to celebrities. You don't have to listen to us. Listen to yourself.
And President Donald Trump's son, Don Jr.
When did we have a strong economy? And I don't think anyone with a straight face can say right now. And the reality, when you look at it, it's not even voting for my father. Look at the team that's now surrounding him.
Tap into the award-winning and nationally recognized 1017 The Truth by downloading the Truth app and streaming us live at 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Milwaukee Black Talk.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers losing to the Braves on Wednesday afternoon, 6-2. They lose the series 2 out of 3 games. They'll look to rebound as they welcome in the Cardinals tonight to American Family Field to begin a 4-game series. Jacob Misiorowski on the mound to make his major league debut for the Milwaukee Brewers. First pitch set for 6:40. Over to the NFL, where the Packers will wrap up mandatory minicamp today in Green Bay. After practice on Wednesday, head coach Matt LaFleur was asked, How many starts does it take for a quarterback before you know what you really have?
I think every case is a little different. So I feel pretty confident that we know what we have in Jordan, and we got a lot of confidence in him.
And lastly, over to the NBA, where the Indiana Pacers take a 2-1 lead over the Oklahoma City Thunder in the NBA Finals with a 116-107 win on Wednesday night. This sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Fight somebody here? What is it? I know what it is.
You said something was fun. I would play something that made sense.
Oh, you know this song? You remember this song?
I was trying to play something else, but
We some head busters. We some head busters. I knock a hater out, man. This is be it, boy. I tell you. We used to be talking about busting heads. We was never busting. 833-212-1017. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Real quick, shout out to those at OW Homeschool in Milwaukee who are tuning in, always tuning in. Shout out to you. And shout out to those at Milwaukee College Prep as well who are tuning in as well. I had multiple people tell me today they love tuning in to The Truth and the show. And so I just want to show y'all some love for tuning in and helping your day go by as quickly as possible. Now, on the other side here, we were having a conversation talking about Donald Trump wanting to rename the name of military bases that Joe Biden decided that he was going to change the name of any military base that had the name of a Confederate soldier. Donald Trump said he was going to reverse that and name it back to Confederate soldiers, only in reality that they're actually not being named after that. But I'm trying to figure out why Donald Trump would say that. Either he's trying to have the dog whistle or he's old, deranged, and senile. It ain't nothing in between. Somebody got to explain this to me. 833-212-1017. That is the talk to text line. And Martin, you are on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. What are your thoughts on this conversation? Martin going what?
My brother.
There you are, Martin. I got you.
I'm here. I look at it like this. When Biden took that away, that was a disgrace to have black people work in occupation at them bases and be named after that. That's why he took that away. That's why people fought to get those statues and all the names removed. By him putting it back, it's just a trick in the playbook, okay? Because you got Negroes like Wink Wink. You know, he loved the white man. He loved the white man validation. I don't care about the white man validation because the white man ain't nothing. The black man started this. And we are God. God is black. So Wink Wink need that validation from these white people in the city. You know, he play along them lines where he ain't supposed to play. We all know what he do in this city. He ain't slick with his little word play in his little mouth.
Oh, wow.
You dig? Oh, like Chisholm and all them other crackers. You dig?
Wow.
Chevy.
Okay. Martin, I appreciate it. Boy, oh boy, y'all are mad today. Y'all done said the C word, the H word. Dang, y'all gonna they're gonna say my show racist. Damn. Just so y'all know, I ain't say that. I ain't say that at all. 833-212-1017. We running short on time, but I do want to have a conversation talking about, and thank y'all so much. Make sure y'all watching streamers live on YouTube as well. Thank y'all so much for chiming in on the conversation today. And now I told you I wasn't going to make this whole show about Trump. I talked about something else at the beginning. And now what I want to do is I want to have a conversation talking about what happened yesterday. Now, I wasn't at the night market last night. I had a chance to go, and I decided, you know what, I'm tired. I want to get home. So I'm not going to go to the night market. It looked cracking. It looked like a good time. It looked like the place to be. But I said, you know what, it's not for me. And getting out of the parking structure already took me too long to get out the parking structure last night. So I was like, you know what?
How long did it take you? It took me 20 minutes.
It took me after the meeting about 15 minutes. I had to wait. Half the time I was waiting to just get out my parking spot. But I went around a little bit and ended up getting out somewhat quickly. Yeah, somewhat quickly. Maybe it took me 20 minutes as well, something like that. But I thought the night market was a good time, a fun time, but then I was listening to Jammin' with Juice, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and I heard Carrie Noni, and I wanted to call her Scary Carrie, but she was talking about, oh, man, do you judge some of your own people? They was fighting out there, and I don't know, I'll be judging my people. I said, oh, here she go being scary. But I had to take that back. She ain't scary, Carrie. She's actually correct, Carrie, because when I finally did see the video of what she was talking about, I was appalled by what I saw. I was absolutely appalled by what I saw, because what I saw in the video at the night market was people being destructive and people fighting. Now listen, it is what it is. I'm gonna get into that, and I'm gonna have Rhea hasn't seen. I'm gonna have Rhea live react to it, and I don't want to just rip into, our community, but I need to talk about irresponsible young adults who are acting a fool in public. But I just want everyone to know that the fighting and ratchetness that you probably saw from the black folks yesterday, I want y'all to understand and know that fights break out in every community. Go ahead and go to one of these softball games or these baseball games out in Kewaskum, and where the parents are drinking beer and having liquor while they're watching their kids play sports. Don't know what that's about. And then all of a sudden, they brawling as well out there in them games. So I just want y'all to know that this nonsense and ratchetness is beyond the black community. It happens in other communities all the time, all right? It happens. So what I understand is this, though. We have to agree on the fact that we got to find a way to get rid of this nonsense, right? We got to find a way to get rid of this nonsense, because what happened yesterday was women who were fighting. Rhea, are you watching the video yet? So I'm going to Rhea, turn your mic on. I've seen the video. Right, and I want you to react live. You can't put it on YouTube because your face is on there. Good. I'm gonna say because you can't put it on his breast.
You can see my face.
All right, you can see your face. All right, so make sure you go to 1017 The Truth on YouTube so y'all can see Rhea's live react. But Rhea, go ahead, press play, and let everybody know the first thing that you see. And her mouth just dropped. Y'all see it? Y'all see? Yeah. Wow.
Oh, this is a brawl.
Yeah, it is a brawl. They jumping the girl.
Oh my God!
What
it's
you
like
see?
5-on-1.
Yeah, it's 5-on-1, 5-on-2. What did it pop out yet? Did it pop out yet?
No.
Okay.
This girl in the cheetah pants is getting it. It's her boob.
That's her. Yes. They was all out. This is at the night market where kids are at and people are there.
This is on the internet.
This is on the internet. This is what I'm saying, y'all. This is y'all hear the reaction that Rhea is having? That's the reaction a lot of people have. And so again,
Jesus.
What happened last night is terrible. And the reason why we can't have none here in this city. And we need to start calling out this foolishness in the moment. We got to say, look at y'all out here performing for people. Got people watching y'all like y'all in the damn zoo.
They went back at it again?
They went back at it. My favorite part about it, though, I mean, I don't condone any of this, but I did learn something new. I'm out the streets. They did say something very interesting. And do you know what this is? It's called, let me see my notes to make sure I have it right. It was called, what is it saying these young folks say?
You talking about the caption?
No, with the bottle. Baddie something. What they say?
Baddie shot o'clock?
Baddie shot o'clock. Baddie shot. Do you know what that is, Rhea?
No, I don't.
I don't know. But at the end, a woman came in with a bottle and said, Baddie shot o'clock. And I tell you,
breaking bottles on people?
We the most creative people I know. I'm telling you this right now. The most creative people I know. But
for real, though.
I just feel like we need to get better. We got to get better. Rhea, Phil, just really quick before we go to break.
Yeah.
What is your quick reaction to what you just saw?
I'm thoroughly entertained, but this is so shameful.
Thank you. That's the problem, is that we're thoroughly entertained and it's so shameful.
It is so sad.
But the problem is that people who see this think that this is the black community, and that is a problem. And I'll tell y'all how we got to shake that and how we can shed that on the other side. Keep it locked. Watch us live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Rhea just reacted live to watching that nonsense. But we'll wrap up the show on the other side. This is Truth to Power on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Summerfest is back, and the award-winning 1017 The Truth has got you covered. With free tickets, Truth Nation, to the world's largest outdoor festival. Tune into The Truth all week and listen for your cue to call and a chance to win an 18-pack of tickets to Summerfest.
Benjamin, I know you lying.
No, Nutty Juice, you heard that right. It's an 18-pack of tickets so your friends and family can enjoy Summerfest on us. So stay tapped into The Truth so you do not miss your chance to enjoy the biggest party on the lakefront. Summerfest is presented by our founding partner, American Family Insurance.
I've got to share that I am also a beneficiary of the Old National Bank Empowerment Loan Program. So, Tracy, with that being said, what is the Empowerment Loan Program?
Great. Well, the Empowerment Loan Program is a special purpose loan program that we launched 2 years ago. It has been a success. It was something, again, near and dear to the heart of not only our chairman and CEO, but just our organization as a whole. We work with contractors, consulting firms, retail food operations, daycares. In fact, so far, we've approved $50 million of loans to minority and women-owned businesses within a 2-year period.
And for those that are now leaning more into this conversation, what's the best way to get in contact with you as part of their interest in the Empowerment Loan Program?
I'm going to give you my cell phone number to the listeners. It's 414-687-7393. And if that doesn't work, feel free to reach me at my email, tracy.meeks@oldnational.com.
Tracy Meeks, Senior Vice President, Community Lending Market Executive from Old National Bank.
Need to look your best for a special occasion? You need the $100 hookup. This incredible deal includes a marvelous suit, shirt, and tie, all for $100. Only at Nick Cavani's, home of the $100 hookup. And that isn't limited to some standard stock suit. You'll be pleased by the top quality and variety of fashion offered at Nick Cavani's. No matter the occasion, maybe you're just ready for a fresh, new, stylish look. Get hooked up today at Nick Cavani's in Mayfair Mall and at nickcavanis.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Escape to the hidden gem of the Midwest, Chula Vista Resort. Relax with modern comforts and breathtaking views. Thrill into water parks and swing into championship golf. Savor diverse dining options. Book your summer retreat now. Call 1-800-388-4782 or visit chulavistaresort.com.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
1, 2, 3, ho!
It is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Just a quick little shout-out. Truth Walk Against Violence is happening July 12th. Make sure you go to 1017thetruth.com so you can sign up today. It is supported by 1MKE. Make sure you tune into the Tory Lowe Show today at 2 p.m. as he will be joined by Milwaukee Police Chief Jeffrey Norman. Just want y'all to be able to tune into that one. But as I wrap up the show here, I just do want to share my final thoughts about the fight that happened. And one thing I feel like how we can fix is because when I talk about the things and the nonsense that happened in the white community, this is the difference. Is middle-class whites and wealthy whites, they don't associate with lower-class folks who do nonsense like that. See, they look at that lower class and they talk bad about them and they look down upon them. Unfortunately, in our community, not 100% our faults, but a lot of times we get kind of morphed in with individuals who do nonsense like that simply because we're so often trying to help and lift up one another, which I'm not saying that's the wrong thing to do, but what I'm saying is if we need to hold people like this accountable and we need to call it out every time that it happens. Because I don't want us to be lumped in with this like that. I want us to be able to call them out and say, this is nonsense, and then we will not stand for this type of nonsense and this type of behavior. Because unfortunately, when people see one black person doing something, it's a black eye for all black people. It's a black eye for all of us. So at some point, we got to separate ourselves, and we got to shun folks who do this nonsense in public. But this has been Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I am your host, Kyle Walsh. The Tory Lowe Show's up next. Peace out. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all for listening.
Truth Nation, unfortunately, violence is on the rise in Milwaukee, and this is a problem which impacts us all. Please join me